Right, I'm popping off, so I will see you soon. Good luck with the stream. To do the tap one. See you in a bit. Right, I'm just getting stuff set up, guys, so in order to make sure I'm not interfering with anybody's stream here, I'm just going to try and send it in party invite in case people can hear me and don't want to hear me through the game chat. Just make sure I get that done. There it is. Okay, so just checking everyone can hear me okay. Welcome to the stream. I think I'm doing champs here. It looks like we are. We've got Danny Brasco, we've got Brashman, Fraser War in here. So this is a good, pretty loaded out grid. Hello guys, welcome everybody else. Appreciate you all turning up and showing some love. So for the stream today, I'm just kind of checking out all this. Good, thank you. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Okay, so welcome to the stream, guys. I'm just going to catch up who's where. Danny Brasco, Brashman, Fraser War, Garant, Zoltan, Raz and Destroy, Matt F1, Den Hornkronti, I said that so wrong, sorry Den. We got Wiggy, Hassan Toya, Fry Tuck, Egolf, Rattigan, Grimsleep and Mikey and Tiny bring the rear as Brashman. Brashman goes straight on. Let me just get the tyres up as well, see who's where here. So we're going to have, let's have a look, tyres here, gap to interval is fine, lap data enabled. So, okay then. Yeah, appreciate you guys getting that set up for me whilst I joined up, and obviously I'm hoping that we're going to have a pretty easy stream today. We've got 16 drivers then running for the race this afternoon for champs. So I'm hoping it'll put me on a global view, but stay on board with Brasco. Looks like everybody actually I think is on the medium tyres. Anybody on the hards? There's a Ferrari. So Ferrari on the hards there, and we're getting the lights on now. I'm rubbish with comms, so it's lights out and away we go. A lot of wheel spin for Brasco as he takes away into the lead. Has Brashman got a nose on the inside? Let's have a look. Nice and late on the brakes, no one home there. Is everybody clear? A little bit of contact from the Ferraris, I think. One of them actually gone ghost, so I think everybody, I think, gets through cleanly. So anyone got any damage here? I'm just kind of see if anybody's got any damage or anything going on. I think everybody's getting through pretty cleanly, though. Looks like it to me. Yeah, well done everybody. Peeping your nose is clean. Great job. So let's stay on board with Danny Brasco here as he's trying to get away. So obviously we've got 1 second in order to get away from the car behind. Looks like a late move here, possibly from Raz and Destroy up the inside of Zoltan. Does get it stopped. Racing room given to both the drivers. Nicely and fairly respected here. Wiggy looking for a run on Den. Is he going to have? He's going to stick him back into the slipstream here as Den is using a lot of overtake. Wiggy's getting free speed here from the Haas. Going to look out. He's going to go into last minute. There's a 3 abreast of the cars behind. There must be some contact there on the map. Everyone got through cleanly. Everybody did. I think someone actually got pushed off slightly. It looks like it was Grant in the Ferrari got pushed off, but a lot of carnage in the mix there between the sort of the mid-pack here. There's the race strategy. Utter bullshit. Medium hard, I think, is the way forward. I believe, actually, the softs might give you some help. No, this is the wrong track. The tyre, actually, here is ridiculously bad. So it's really all about conserving the medium tyres for as long as you can, as everybody goes wide in the final corner. It's all about conserving the medium tyre for as long as you can, and then getting onto the hards and just keeping them in that good window. I think an undercut will be powerful here, but I think also an overcut will be really powerful as well if you can stay in a DRS train. This track's really about staying in the DRS of a car in front, that big long straight, and making use of that slipstream. So I think looks like the top 3 is starting to break away from Matt here. I know Fraser War, you know, very fast driver on F1 23. Did have the pleasure of racing him. Brashman, again, quick as well. Used to be my teammate, I think, last season. And he's taken me out in Monza before. And Danny Brasco, obviously, we know that he has all the ERS modes are available to him today. 6 people watching. Hello, welcome all to the stream. So everybody, looks like Matt really needs to push up onto the back of Fraser War here, and otherwise there'll be a breakaway. I'm hoping, I think, you know, if I was Matt here, I think I'd let Zoltan maybe goodbye, which Rakic might be doing, or he's just defending clean air. No, letting Zoltan through and getting behind him, great defensive play there from Matt. Zoltan might have the early race pace in order to, you know, make a bit of a move and try and catch up to the back of this lead DRS train. It looks like actually Brashman's taken the lead of Danny Brasco, so Brashman is trying to get away here. I think feeling slightly more at home in the second tier. Plevank, good evening. Stiggy, hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining the stream. I said it's probably a one-time thing I'm doing comms tonight, just because we haven't got a Masters race, and I think Fear's not actually streaming tonight at all, so obviously Fear, hope everything's okay, and apologies for stealing your stream, as Matt already picks up 3 warnings and therefore a 3-second penalty. There's no doubt this track's notorious for corner cutting warnings going wide. The cars have got a lot of understeer here, especially on the front nose. Big place to worry about, I think, is the second to last corner. I mean, you know, you're talking off camber, the car really doesn't like it through there, and then you've got the after the S section. I think we're just about to go on board with Brashman, actually take you through it. So this corner here is quite easy to cut. Fast right isn't really a problem here, but it's this exit here and trying to keep inside this curb, as Brashman does really well there. So great example there from Ben. Thank you for doing that for me. I don't know if actually Ben can hear me at the moment. I apologise if he can't, and hope he can tune in later on. Ben, can you hear me? I don't know. Give a little bit of wiggle, mate, if you can. If not, don't worry about using overtake. Actually, Bennett's, I think, pretty preoccupied at the moment working with Danny Brasco, and Zoltan has caught up to this train. The guys have worked together, managed to make their way back up as, oh my god, what's going on back here? 4 abreast into the fast left as Egolf and Wiggy are having a bit of a scrap. Wiggy here just sitting behind Egolf for the time being, maybe looking to recharge that battery, but Egolf and Wiggy really need to sort of get their act together and catch up to that lead plaque once more. I think once you get away from that 1 second, it's really hard to get back in it. I think, you know, 1.9 seconds, 2-second gap, there might be a chance to maybe perform an undercut, maybe only 1 or 2 laps at best at this track, because the hards simply just don't behave really any more than the mediums do. Someone's already in. Looks like it's who is it? Who's plumbed in? Is it Hassan Toyer? Is he taking a new wing? Is he or something, or is he? Don't know what's going on here. Let's down board with Raz and Destroy. Give him a little bit of airtime and see what's going on here. It is a new front wing, so looks like we've got Raz and Destroy here having to go for a 2-stop, so hopefully a safety car late race for him. Is that the mediums back on for him? Just wait for the game to get its act together and give me a bloody solid stupid angle. I don't actually know, so have a look. Is it the hards? It is the hards then for Raz and Destroy. So actually Zoltan on the hard tyres, so he's in a good position here as well. Actually, I think the biggest concern we've got with strategy around this track is, you know, I think it's maybe 12, 30, I think maybe about 12 laps of mediums will do. Then there's 4 lap, I think, difference in the tyre strategy here, and there's going to be a point where the fresh hards will be 1 or 2 seconds a lap faster than the older hard tyres. The only way to get around that is by catching up to the cars, you know, when he's on those medium tyres, and hoping that Zoltan can carve through the pack and getting his way back up to that leading group, because he's in a strong position. He goes down the inside of Danny Brasco, does leave the space, nice and racing room, nice and respected there. My camera work is very shoddy, I'm not used to you doing this at all. So let's stay on board with Danny Brasco here, who's yielded to Zoltan. He's in a really good position already, Zoltan is. I don't think he's on the faster tyre yet, so I'm going to assume he had a bit of a poor qualifying maybe, and then just kind of got his act together into the race. I know Zoltan is quick, you know, absolutely where he wants to be, which is a fair amount of the time. He was quite a bit of a problem in Portugal in the dry. I know he had a bit of trouble in the wet, but we'll see how he does in this race. Based on what I'm seeing on the clouds, there isn't going to be any rain, so we'll have to see how we get on here. Now I'm looking at the bottom right of my screen. There is a bit of a gap forming here. Looks like that the Wiggy and Egolf Hazard group have not got their act together yet and are just sat there. I think Wiggy needs to get his act together and you know, really pushed by Egolf in order to try and catch back up to that leading group, because at the moment they're doing, you know, there's no one any favours here at the moment. I mean, I don't think there's a massive amount of pace to gain from this, but I think maybe just an execute a swap might be helpful here to kind of, you know, I think Egolf needs to realise that, you know what, I think Wiggy's the faster guy. I think Wiggy needs to realise he is getting that together. Looks like Egolf is not putting up a fight though, so Wiggy will take P8 here, and let's see what he does. So that gap's now 2.7 seconds, so let's see if we can get that down at all. As there's been a bit more contact in front here, let's see what's going on. Looks like Danny Brasco and Zoltan are beginning to fight a little bit more. Zoltan down the inside of Brasco. This was a repeat of what happened last lap. These two must have been fighting, as Wiggy and Egolf Hazard are fighting again. What are they doing? Just lost another second to the cars in front here. Egolf and Wiggy, this is silly behaviour. Really should. It'd be great racing though, I'll admit, as we're going into the fast left. It looks like Egolf yields. Wiggy goes a bit deep. Can Egolf throw one up the inside here? No, not from there, nothing doing. Gets the car rotated better than Wiggy, but a bit of a more conservative exit. I think Egolf probably should... he's going to go for it. Egolf into turn one. Let's have a look here. Is he going to be later on the brakes? He's already cleared him. A lot of straight line speed there for the Williams. And Wiggy gets the nose underneath. We thought about it. Wiggy thought about it there. As Rattigan is sat here probably having a field day looking at these to have a little bit of scrap, but guarantee that some of the drivers, more experienced drivers in the field, which realistically speaking I think are people like Egolf and Wiggy, I think will be a bit upset that they're not able to keep up with this lead group. This does happen. I think, you know, in most tiers there's a split in pace. But I think, you know, 3.5 seconds is going to be hard to recover unless there's a safety car. Now, you've got to feel for Raz and Destroy, for example, 18 seconds off the next car. He will have to box again. Those tyres will not make it to the end. He'll have to be really unlucky, I think, or really lucky in order to get those to the end. But even then, I think a safety car from sort of lap 15, you put the mediums on as it is. As Wiggy again gets the move done, nicely defended there, and then Egolf Hazard just deciding against it, I think, to go for a move here. I think Wiggy needs to, defend better and, you know, sort of keep his car in front, and he's bottled it again. What's Wiggy doing? Is Egolf going to get a run? It says yellow flag somewhere on track. Looks like it's... Oh, is it Friar Tuck or Grim Sleeper? A bit of a mistake there from Grim. Is he okay? That car looks fine from the outside. So I think he'll brush it off, get back into that 1 second window if he can, and just kind of regain his composure and carry on. Have a look then here. So looks like the cars in front. I'll give the sort of this leading group a bit more airtime here. I know that we've got Egolf and Wiggy having a bit of a scrap, but these two need to sort themselves out. So we'll sit on board with Grant, who's behind the second part of the lead train. You know, I think you know, the Ferrari guys have had a good turnout so far. I mean, P4 and PP3 and P7 split strategy, so they're not going to get in each other's way. You know, either, which is quite good when you're so close together on the track. Will be really beneficial. So let's just see how this top 7 spread themselves out throughout the race. I think if they can keep together in a sort of a 1 second window of each other, they're all in for good stead for a kind of a podium contention here. You know, I think any mistake really, you lose second and a half and you're going to lose 4 or 5 positions, and then a load of more composure and momentum, and you're going to be facing the back of P8 at that point. Any overtakes going on? Brashman going for a move on Fraser Wari, gets it stopped around the inside. Nice move there from Brash, pretty clinical. As Hassan Toyer and Danny Brasco having a bit of a scrap. Hassan gets a move done down the inside. Zoltan is in a really good position here. Is he going to go for a move on Fraser? Yes, he is. Going to poke the nose in. Brashman needs to see this and get on with it. Does he? Oh no, it's already yielded to Fraser. So Fraser there almost leaving the door open. So you know what, Zoltan, come on through. Right. I think in this situation here, the biggest advantage to this game is not really losing or gaining a position. It's kind of staying within a 1 second of the car in front. You know, I think a lot of the mentality from this game is just staying, can I stay with that lead pack is the first thing. Look at this pace from Zoltan. He's come from nowhere, come from absolutely nowhere, and he's just taken the lead on the hard tyres. I mean, the mediums are going to be a bit second hand now. They've done 75% of their stint already. And those hard tyres have probably done about 30. You know, they're going to be in a much better position, I think, here, and all Brashman needs to do now is stay within that second for as long as he can on Zoltan, because it's on the point where all the time that Brashman is going to lose now to Zoltan, he'll get back in the pit stops boxing 3 or 4 laps earlier than Zoltan will on those mediums. The problem is, when Zoltan comes out of the pit lane, he's going to lose all that time again. It's all about maintaining good composure and keeping consistent. Now let's see if Brashman wants to go for an overtake here or just kind of sit behind. Not doing anything yet. Looks like Zoltan is actually trying to run. He's in hot lap mode, so I think Zoltan will try something. Brashman just staying behind him, doesn't really see a point actually in going for any silly moves. Bit of a race on behind between Hassan and Fraser War, bit nice and clean. Hassan gets through nicely there. Nice clean move there for Hassan, and Fraser just tucks him behind. And again, I think Fraser realised that there's no point in fighting this at the moment. I think all we're going to do is cost time. Okay, there's no point in going for overtakes that are going to, you know, cost you time within the train. You know, you really don't want to lose a second, because as soon as you get outside of a second, it's really hard to get that back unless you've got a tyre or pace offset. But realistically speaking, in these tiers, you know, the pace offset is going to be minimal. We have a caution sector 2. Who is it? It's Hassan Razan Destroy, I think, actually is pitted. Oh no, that's a real shame. That is a game glitch. So he's retired on track, and I think his car will park itself in a nice place. That's not his fault at all. The game DC'd him. You know, I had the same problem myself a couple of weeks ago in Legacy tier, and he just had to park it on track. So I'm hoping that will clear itself up and not cause a safety car, because this is going to do the medium runners a big favour here and really scupper Zoltan and Tiny's race, for example. But a bit of a shame for Razan Destroy. Real shame there. As you can see the attitude now of the Kick Sauber. Really struggling. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. A lot of talking, a lot of rambling on. Okay, so had a bit of a nice sip there. 6 people watching though. I think thank you guys for tuning in. Let's have a look. So again, Brashman using that DRS and just trying to keep in that 1 second gap for as long as he can. Sorry, a lot of oversteer there for Brashman. So these mediums now are getting really tired. They're going to be about the 60% mark, I think, at this point. They're not going to be happy. They're going to be kind of begging for help, really. I think Zoltan... I'm surprised that Zoltan's hasn't managed to get rid as fast as he really could have done. Danny Robinson says no. Thanks, Danny. Shut up. Welcome to the stream, Danny. So yeah, I think Brashman really needs to just try and keep in this DRS as long as he damn well there. I think, you know, once Zoltan gets away, which he will inevitably, I think he just needs to get away and keep it there. And it looks like, thank God, that Wiggy and Egolf have actually resolved their problems and have started trying to reduce the gap to the cars in front. Fraser War at risk here of losing the 1 second. I think he might be. He's very close. Let's have a look how he gets it. Stops there. A lot of almost oversteering into the hairpin. You can see the attitude of the car. He did get DRS, so he does. Luckily, managed to stay in the train and not have any problems. A voice crack, that was. Not have any problem, you know, just trying to correct him, get back into the train. As Hassan Toya got bored of sitting behind Brashman and has gone by him. Brashman, though, not interested. Brashman back down the inside here. Zoltan's going to see this and want to dip. Zoltan, you need to dip. If you're hearing this, mate, you need to get away from this. You know, the cars, you've got a second gap, and Brashman's Hassan still going wheel to wheel here. Let's see. Looks like Hassan has got the lead as both the drivers suffering from oversteer through the fast right. As Fryer gets to the warning, look at the oversteer from both of these cars. These tyres are very exhausted now. Hassan, though, looks to be in possession of Matt F1. Oh no, it's not. Matt F1 gets a 3 corner cutting penalty. Goddamn silent crash again. Yeah, I think this must be Rattigan. It's a real shame, mate. Had the same problem a couple of weeks ago as Tiny. What's it? That's an early pit on the hards as well, man. What are you doing? Has someone retired? Tiny's retired from the session. It is Razan Destroy. Yeah, it's Razan Destroy, by the way. He's in block text. Thanks for joining. So Fraser War and Danny Brasco have taken this chance to go onto the hards. They're in clean air as well. 4 second window to get this gap down, work together. These two right now have got a great chance here of getting in the lead, especially away from Hassan and Brashman, who I think are going to be a bit more of a threat later on into the race. But they've boxed a lap early. It's a really good risk. in order to try and make this work, and they might be able to get him to the end without too much trouble. But while they have this chance to chip away in clean air, work together, which I think they might. I mean, it'd be good to kind of find out how the mood is in this tier. I know full well that people in the Masters tier normally try and work together, but we're all in a big Discord, so we'll see here. So Danny Brasco going for an overtake, and Fraser War not fighting it. So he knows, Fraser War knows this is not his fight right now, as Brashman gets a warning for gets another warning for track limits, which is a real shame. But we might be able to make that up at the end, or if a lot of drivers get the same thing, we might be alright. I mean, there's, 5 drivers now got penalties and multiple warnings. Grant, is that 6 now for Grant? It is. It's a real shit. Oh, Hassan and Brashman having a fight. Brashman's in the pit lane. Hassan's staying out. So Hassan now is a lone warrior by himself now, just seeing how long he can take it. So now what we need to see is, where is this going to take us out for Fraser War and Danny Brasco here. Let's kind of see where these two come out. I'll be inclined to see how this works out against Brashman. I'm going to cut to Brashman now. We should see the Red Bull and the V car both clear. So they have made it work. The undercut has worked. I think if they keep this momentum up, they'll be able to catch up and essentially goodbye Zoltan right now. Brashman needs to do his best to get this time down as close to a second as he can over the coming laps, because these guys are going to get away. So I think Brashman's going to work really hard in this first sector or two to try and get back into a second, then he can kind of relax and bring the tyres in properly. It's really close. 1.1, not the best exit, but he might have a chance. Is it going to be close? No one home. That's over a second for Brashman. He's going to be gutted with that. Decided not to push as hard as I think maybe he should have done, really, to get that. I think these two now are gonna kind of chip away at that gap. Just watch that gap increase. There was 1.1 second 2 corners ago, and just a slipstream effect and DRS is silly. It's worth half a second on this track to the slower car, not even the faster one. It's unless Brashman's got something majestic in this final sector compared to Danny Brasco, this is going to be I think a really difficult day for Brashman to try and recover this 3-second penalty that he's got on his head now. 1.1. So I'm going to incline to kind of stick with him and see how we get on. He's going to try it down to 1 second again. So I think Danny Brasco realised, he can see him pushing up to the back of Fraser War through this sector, which is not really what you want to be doing. You don't want to be, sat on the arse of the car in front in this sector, as Fryer took, and Hassan finally coming to the pit lane. Actually a lap overcut here. And no DRS for Brashman once more. He's got to work even harder again. He will be absolutely clear, though, of Hassan Toyer, who's just coming out of the pit lane now. Hassan gets clear. Yeah, so he's clear now. Hassan the same problem. So that 1 second gap's got to get down. Let's see what Brashman does. He's not pushing hard enough. He's really not pushing hard enough here. This gap's 1.1 still. He needs to kind of, really use the overtake and try to best to get in this DRS as fast as he can. As Zoltan picks up 3-second penalty. So what's he doing here as well? He's kind of sauntering in on his lonesome right now, and he just needs to keep consistent with lap times. And the thing is, that 3-second now is going to be over his head. So he's got a double-barreled issue now. He's not only got to recover all the time he's going to lose going for the different strategy, because this is all this undercut. These guys are running on these tyres is like 10 laps, right? There's a lot of problem. 10 lap younger tyres is ridiculous. So they're going to chew down this gap to Zoltan, and having that 3 second over his head as well is going to really knacker his race. I think it's a bit different when you're kind of in the lead or you're in a bit of a pack, because you're kind of battling other people for it. I think the good news for Zoltan is there's a lot of other drivers in the same boat, but even then, like, half a second lost in maybe just like one straight, where realistically speaking the time deficit is going to be at its least. The amount of time that Danny and Fraser War will gain will all be in that first and final sector where the tyres are really being used to their fullest extent. So it'd be kind of good to see where Zoltan comes out, but I think at this point it could be like maybe 3-4 seconds behind this gaggle. Similar to Hassan. I mean, look, he's lost a second over this lap to the Brashman, Fraser War and Danny Brasco train, which is a really difficult situation actually for Hassan, because he's now by himself. He's now got now another train formed that is going to be difficult to catch up to that now leading 3. This has now become a 3-horse race. And because Hassan is not in DRS, he's not going to be able to at least keep Brashman's penalty in check. Brasco for the win, by the way, says Pirate Danny. Very nice. And now it's your turn, Stiggy. Is this the point where it happens, is it? I mean, Brasco, I think, for sure is in the best position here. You know, I think he's fighting Fraser War really quickly. Fighting Fraser War throughout the session. I mean, I think Danny Brasco is doing the best job. I don't really know who to predict. I'm going to play devil's advocate here and go for Fraser, just to have someone else in the mix, Danny. Right? I know that you're I'm prepared to throw someone else different than you, but I think, you know, I think Danny or Fraser War, I think have the best chance here. I mean, Brashman's carrying a 3-second penalty, so it's not going to be good for him, but he's got to make up the time, and he's doing so. I mean, Brashman's really quick in this early phase, actually, and he's in a better position than Danny Brasco is when it comes to both tyre wear and battery. And probably sort of 3-4% better. That's not a highlighted message, Danny, but I will say it. Okay, me again, mate. We've made some changes to the way that ERS works this year, so now you'll have multiple modes to choose from in the race. Play around with them on your MFD during practice sessions and think about how you could use them on race day. I'll check back in with you soon to talk more about it. As Brashman looks up the inside, but no one home. Let's have a quick look. Oh, let's have a run him. No, let's have a quick look at the race director and see what's happened. So a lot of track limit warnings here. This is ridiculous. Look at all these penalties people are going to have to carry with them. Who have we got? Danny Brasco's got at least one warning. It'd be good to see if he has any more. Does he? Danny Brasco got any more on him? Don't think he does. No, but Rashman's got shitloads, so I think Brashman now is at risk of having 6 seconds of penalties, which will nothing short of scupper his race. So he really does need to, I think, dial it back, and just not cut any more corners, because you're going to fuck your race up, mate, if you don't do something soon. Is Brashman even going for it here? Is he thinking about it? I don't know why he's not. A bit of a half-assed attempt here, but no problem. Danny Brasco yields. Fair idea there to yield there, does Danny realise it's not my fight at the moment? Brashman's the faster car, at least he has been in this phase of the race, partially because his tyres are a lap younger, better ERS management, but also because he's cut half the track to get there. But let's see that difference now. The gap is down to less than 14 seconds, so this is ridiculous. Zoltan's in, so Zoltan has had a mammoth stint, but this is now where it's going to be go time. So let's see. He's going to obviously put the mediums on, and this gap, I reckon it'll probably come out just in front of Egolf. I think, well, in that gap between Egolf and Grant. I think I'd be amazed if he doesn't. Let's jump on board with Egolf here and just see where he comes out. I think it'll be a good stint if he comes out in front of Egolf. Let's have a look. He's actually going to be with his teammate. And so I think Grant actually will yield into turn 1 as Zoltan cuts the front corner into turn 1. But, you know, Zoltan is in the second gaggle. That's a fantastic stint on those hard tyres, and he can see the cars in front of him. That is not a lot of gap for 12 laps, especially when you're essentially in your own DRS train. You know, Zoltan has got a great chance here of you know, not only recovering all the time he's lost, but bringing Grant with him. And the problem with that is it's all of the other guys in this train. I think Hassan now needs to think us up with if he's pushing Matt F1 through the corner. Zoltan absolutely pushing the Alpine. He's like, get out of my fucking way, I want to get into the front of this lead. He's going to go for it. So Matt F1 will not put up a fight. See how much he gains into the braking zone here. Much later on the brakes, and Hassan really late on the brakes. Oh, fucking hell. Zoltan about kills his teammate in the legacy tier, but catches up to no end and does get it stopped. Is he going to launch up the inside here of Hassan without him suspecting? No, I think it's a fair idea. I think that was a little bit too far back for my liking. You know, let's see what he does here. I don't know what Hassan's going to do here. I think Hassan, doesn't need to put up a fight. I think, you know, he sees that gap is, you know, 2 seconds, right? You know, he knows that I think with Zoltan's assistance and DRS in the right places, Hassan can get back into that leading group and make use of the penalties, as Zoltan now takes P4 and will now hunt down the cars in front. Hassan and Matt F1 should do the right thing here and sit back and enjoy the show. I think they're going to have their time later on with the cars in front, because I think Hassan is in a great position as well. You know, 2 lap younger tyres and the cars in front of him, apart from Zoltan. I think he's got a great chance to, especially with no penalties at the moment, to catch back up to this leading group. You know, I think, look at the time Zoltan's gaining on this right now. It's already 0.3 of a second in the first sector. I think he's not going to get him this lap. I think maybe next lap with a bit of assistance. But I have just noticed that Brashman has gapped Danny and Fraser War. He's got them out of a second. This is vital, because now Brashman is not going to get looped into this fight if there's a big fight. If there's a big fight between all these cars, which there will be some jostling for position. Is Hassan Toy going to go for it? He is. Hassan down the inside of Zoltan. Zoltan round the outside. I'm on board with the wrong person. Zoltan has been forced off the track. He must go for a dive here, which he does do, and just basically moves Hassan out the way. Great defending there from the Ferrari. I don't think he'll be particularly happy with Hassan's launch, but I think that's a fair piece of defending. And even after all that, Zoltan has got into the DRS of the car in front, just about. He will be in by the time it's vital, right? He's just about in now. If not, he'll be with them into the straight where it all counts, right? Fantastic stint, 2 laps, and Zoltan's already got back all that time he lost over the 6 laps of different tyre of tyre offset. 10 people watching. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. So, what have we got now? Let's take stock. We've got Brashman in the lead here with a lap younger tyres than Fraser War and Danny Brasco, so he's overcut these guys and got 1.7 seconds away. So Brashman now has done a fantastic job of, you know, realising, well, shit, I've got a penalty. You know, if I'm going to even win or get a podium today, I need to, A, not get another one. And I think he's only 1 warning away from getting a 6th second. And now he needs to do the other task, which is admittedly more difficult, of getting that gap to 3 seconds or above. The way you can do that today is watching Zoltan come through and following Zoltan. That's the only thing you can do. I think Zoltan is going to be in front of Brashman. I don't think that means he'll win the race, but I think Zoltan will come through on Brash, and hopefully Brash will realise and tow it along. As Zoltan's on the brakes, Danny Brasco does leave the door open and just lets him go by. So I think, you know, again, fair there from Danny. I think he realises what's at stake here, that he will overtake the stake. But, you know, I think Danny, if he can stay within the DRS of Zoltan, which will be really difficult, I think, but he needs to do it at the right points, then I think he can bring himself back into the race with Zoltan. Let's see how these guys do. That gap is already 9/10 of a second though, and this is the part of the track where we'll gain it all into the first sector, so we'll get a small bit of DRS here and Zoltan won't, which is good news for Danny, because he'll bring that gap back down to just underneath the second as he sets a 34.2, sorry. It's 2.2 seconds faster than Danny behind. That's ridiculous pace. You know, I mean, that is a really quick lap that is there from Zoltan. So he's already got into Ben's DRS. Danny Brasco is already out of it as well. There's no way that Danny's going to be catching Zoltan now. I think unless Ben puts up a defensive masterclass, I think it's unlikely that he'll do that in the situation he's in, because I think Ben just needs to realise, I ain't going to win this race anymore. I need to get away. You know, he's 2 seconds clear now of Danny Brasco, so if he can stay with Zoltan for as long as he can, and then just stay with him and stay with him and stay with him, those two can maybe bring home a 2-3 or maybe even a 1-2, depending on how the timings work. Zoltan, I think, isn't going to go by here. He's going to charge. I think looks like Brashman's doing the same here, as Fraser War has decided to go by. Hassan and is that Hassan and Danny Brasco just fighting there? It is. Hassan Toy gets by. So pretty. I don't know how clean it was. I think that was relatively clean from what I saw, but not much of a problem. Rattigan and Friar Tuck are having a little bit of a fight here with Mikey for the sort of like the final straws of the top 10. And then here we have Wiggy and Egolf Hazard fighting for P8, and this is what I mentioned at the start of the race now. This gap is now 6.2 seconds. Now, at the start of the race, they were 3.5 behind, and they finally got their act together. But it just shows how hard it can be. Now, I know there might be a pace difference between the two cars here as Zoltan takes the lead, but there might well be a pace difference between these two cars here. You know, but what the fucking hell? Wiggy, what are you doing? Right, so Wiggy's being an idiot on the track, but that's not really a problem. As we've got Brashman so he's trying his best to stay within DRS of Zoltan here, which I think he might be able to do, and it should hopefully do Fraser War, and, well, hopefully keep him away from Fraser War, which it will do, yep, for sure. So Hassan Toya now will have a look on Fraser going into the next hairpin, just nice and later on the brakes, if he squares the corner off nicely, which he does. Brashman shouldn't really go by Zoltan here. I think if he's going to scupper his own race, just stay behind him, Ben, and bring it home together, as Fraser War just lifting and letting Hassan go by. So look, we're in this race together now. We can have this scrap later on. I think good kind of race IQ, I think, is a term I need to use here, and see what Hassan can do. Got that gap down to 1.5 seconds already, and I think Hassan's tyres are a lap younger than Ben's. So I think he might well be able to catch. Hassan's been quick this race, and to be fair, net lead. He's just about within 3 seconds of Zoltan, who's leading this race at the moment. Wherever that bloody note is about how penalties work, there is 3 seconds. So he's net lead. If he stays within 3 seconds of the race, Hassan is currently on to win the race. So I think Hassan just needs to try his best. He's already got Pen's out of DRS, though he's not. He's got the last bit of his battery to keep with Zoltan for as long as he can. And let's see let's have a look here then. So he's staying within the second window. Let's see if he can keep with him through the S section. I think it's unlikely, but credit to Ben if he can. I know that now Zoltan's tyres will be starting to scream for a little bit of help here. Does he stay within that 1 second window? Yes, he does. So Ben will stay in for another lap and manage to hopefully extend that gap to Hassan in P3. So it's now on Hassan's job to try and catch up almost under his own steam now, because he's managed to gap Fraser himself to try and catch up to the top two. We have a yellow flag somewhere. Let's see who the yellow flag's for. I'd love to actually find out who it was, but I don't think it's anybody. Oh, Wiggy, and Wiggy's lost his end plate. Well done, Wiggy. I don't know what you've done there, mate, but you'll be faster in the straights now, and you're going to go for you're probably better off boxing at this point or staying out for as long as you dare. Let's have a look here. As Fryer Tuck will have a move on Wiggy and gets it done nicely. So a nice clean move there for Fryer Tuck. Let's jump back to the leading group. Yeah, I mean, currently Brashman's doing a great job keeping within this 1 second window as best as he damn well can of Zoltan, because this is going to save Ben's race at the moment, unless he gets another penalty. I know he's only got sort of one more warning before he gets another 3 seconds, but at the moment he's doing everything he needs to do to essentially maintain P2, P3 at the end of the race. Right now he's 2.2 seconds clear of Hassan. He's another half a second or so to be 3 seconds clear. Thank you, Ryan, appreciate the nice comment in the chat. Thank you. It's been a while since I've done this, so apologies for any kind of mishaps, and I'm shit on a controller. Thank God I'm not racing tonight. Brashman is awfully close to the track limits. Does he stay within the DRS detection point? I think he's going to be safe. Yes, he is. But he's got no battery, and Zoltan's got plenty. So Ben, again, I think no point in going by here. I think he's better off just kind of staying with Zoltan and benefiting from the tow as much as he can. Hassan, though, had a decent first sector. Not enough drivers and masters, that's right. Yeah, no, there was only sort of 7 people in the end decided to check in. I think there was a lack of numbers, I think there was essentially a decision made by the admin team to not run the race. So I was asked to, Mick invited me to do comms with him for the elite tier. He then noted to me that Fear wasn't doing them champs tier today, so I thought I'd take care of this one myself to give you guys a bit of love, being as your grid was, essentially full. So it's good to give you guys the comms, considering that you've all turned up for today's race. So, thank you all. Got a yellow flag. Who is it? Looks like it's Fryer Tuck. He's got his head in his arse. No, he hasn't. He's got his arse in the wall. So, bit of a shame. Has he got any damage on board that McLaren, apart from some mental damage? Let's have a look. No, that's not what I wanted to see. If the game would be great and give me a good piston angle. Got no idea what his wing's doing. So, let's just check the attitude. He's definitely got a bit of a lift. So, I don't know if he's carrying damage or not, to be honest. It'd be great if the game could give me a good camera angle and show me. The front end plate is on. Is the other one? Yes, it is. So Fryer Tuck will carry on, licking his wounds, but he'll carry on for the race. And Brashman has now is now outside of DRS to Zoltan. Zoltan will begin to, I think, sort of drive off into the distance, and then maybe at the end of the race, Ben's tyres might sort of come back to him in relation to Zoltan's and maybe catch back up that gap, and then these two will then reassume their fight for, person with the least amount of penalties. There's been a car stopped. It's Fryer Tuck again, who's made another boo-boo, and he's recovered again, but I think he might be back to call this a day. let's just see. He's carried on. I think he might have cooked the rears a little bit too much. The attitude of the car, he's not happy with this. Look, he's not. He isn't best pleased. You know, I think at this point, Tuck, you know, as I always say, you're better off just finishing the race and taking the points. There aren't many, but points are points, man. As he gets a penalty on the for the track limit violations, I think maybe he'll be just taking this one to the pit lane, but I hope he doesn't. Oh, there's a bit of racing going on between Rattigan and Mikey here. These two, no love lost, but again, teammates, they need to try their best here to not take each other out, and they don't need Wiggy getting involved either. I know Wiggy's fast on a good day, but I think he's carrying some damage himself, so I think these two, hopefully try and keep it clean, and they should be fine. To sort of continue their race for the P9 and P10 spots. Egolf is completely alone. You know, essentially 7 seconds either side of him, so he's free to just kind of drive his own race here and maybe pick up some, if anybody gets 6 seconds of penalties or maybe more, he might have a chance to scrape into the top 7, I don't know, but keep his nose clean and he'll be fine for some decent points at the end. We've got Matt F1 now. What happened to Raz, says Noodles? I think he had the same problem I did a couple of weeks ago in Masters, where his game disconnected from him for no random reason. He then rejoins the game, doesn't have access to control the car, and then it's pit lane retirement for Took. Doesn't have access to control the car, and the game retires him from the race. I had it happen to me in the sprint in Austria on Sundays a couple of weeks ago now. You know, so don't worry, Rattigan, Raz and Destroy, we feel your pain. Yeah, appreciate the love there, Noodles, for yeah, showing some love to Raz and Destroy. A bit of a shame, really. His race was kind of over before it started. I think picking up damage really early as well. So, bit of a shame for him. But just come back next week and hope to God your game don't crash. There's verified integrity and 3 corrupted files, and now that's fixed. Oh, fantastic. Well, at least you can fix that on your PC, mate, because the PlayStation people are fucked, aren't they, if that's going to be a problem. So, yeah, head down with that one, mate. Next race is next week, so, you know, fingers crossed you'll have a good race next time out. I'm hoping to God that Friar Tuck's car will park itself in a safe space. Looks like it is doing just on the outside of Sector 1, and the track is now cleared. So, all good news. Zoltan now 3 seconds clear of Ben and 4.5 seconds clear of Noodles. Shut up. 4.5 seconds clear of Hassan. So at the moment, actually, Zoltan is picked to win this race based on the lack of penalties for you know, the cars behind him. But he has that 3 second gap. I think Zoltan and Ben here both need to, you know, try their best to not, you know. Oh, safety car. What's happened here then? Who's binned it? Don't know who's binned it, but the race is not over. I think Wiggy here should pick up a new front wing. Yeah, he should do. Is a set of mediums for Wiggy, or going to be a set of the softs? God knows, I'm just getting some Red Bull ass in my face. But the safety car has come out, and this has completely buggered Zoltan and Ben's race now, because they were pretty safe. I mean, Zoltan was really safe, you know, to the cars around him. So yeah, 2-lap sprint to the end. Yeah, thank you, Tuck, for the love as well. Yeah, no problem, mate. I mean, appreciate the honesty with the lack of racing in Masters. So yeah, happy to kind of at least give a full grid a bit of love today. But yeah, the safety car will too many won't pit. Well, we'll have a look, shall we? I think it's a bit of a difficult scenario here. I think, realistically speaking, I think a set of softs will work. I think maybe now a good set of softs. I mean, people might have a spare set. I know Wiggy had a spare set. I wonder if anybody else has got a spare set of softs available. Obviously, I missed out on qualifying, so I don't know if it was a wet race or not. Is Zoltan's staying out, so he's committing. I think Ben should box here if he's doing the right idea, which he is. Hassan staying out. Fraser War boxing. Danny boxing. Matt F1 don't know what he's doing yet. There's going to be a late decision as he goes in. What's Grant going to do? Grant follows him in. Egolf Hazard hasn't got round to that corner yet, but is he going to box? I think he should do at this point. Seems silly for him to stay out, and he will. Okay. So, he's going to pit in. I think both the Mercedes will be doing a double stack here, but that's not a problem. So, we've got Zoltan here now, who's no longer the fastest guy on track, but has been flawless all race, apart from that 3 second penalty he's going to carry with him. But this has really scuppered his plans to win this race here. We've got Hassan Toya now, at least in these positions, the current net lead. You know, he's got no penalties, you know, and should in theory, I think, be able to stay within a second of safety car. Oh, lap 22 in Apex as well. Well, you know, should be able to stay within Zoltan Zoltan's DRS and 3-second window, and maybe come home in the lead. The problem is you've got loads of cars behind him, such as Brashman, Fraser War, Danny, Matt F1 and Grant, everyone like that, all on brand new soft or medium tyres, which are going to be, you know, I think the softs are going to be 2.5, 3 seconds a lap faster than the tyres they've got on them now. So I think right now, Danny, you might be in a good place here. Danny and Fraser War both in a good place to maybe win this race. I think the actual over the grid result, I think Brashman will be the winner over the line. I think Zoltan will probably hang on, I think maybe to second, and then I think maybe Fraser War or Danny will pick up the piece here. I just don't think Hassan has got the pace. His hard tyres will be almost exhausted at this point, you know. SC will be out, well, he's going in right now, Noodles, so this is it now. There's going to be a 2-lap sprint to the end of the race. Safety car will always give the drivers 2 laps at the end of the race to never mind, that should be up. Yeah, just stay quiet, Noodles, alright? Don't need you talking, thanks, mate. Show us the dog instead. Anyway, so, been a good race. I'm going to take a quick sip of water whilst these guys are sorting themselves out. Thank God I needed that. It was about as dry as a nun in there, so thank God to have a little bit of water. Anyway, so Zoltan is waiting till the last minute and he goes. Thanks. So just good for doggy photos. Thanks, Needles. Anyway, so Brashman already looking at Hassan Toyer into turn 1. He's going to round the outside. I think Zoltan will break a little bit late to give his guys a bit of room. Hassan Toyer there, I think, squeezes Brashman. A little bit of damage. Cars behind us. Sort of someone's actually lost the wing end plate there. Looks like it might have been Grant who's come off badly, as Brashman already sniffing at the back of Hassan, and Hassan is basically licking the back of Zoltan's rear wing here, so this will be really close between these three. Maybe some fireworks as well. Brashman positioning his car nicely for the better exit. Don't get a penalty here, Ben. Always really really leave it to the last minute to find that apex. Let's see if there's going to be a dive or anything for any of these cars. I think Hassan will be the first to go for it. Let's have a look. Good exit for Ben. He's going to box Hassan in. Nice exit there from Ben. I think Zoltan here just needs to give Hassan the toe to allow these cars to fight. As I can look behind and see what's going on. These cars side by side. Fraser War has got a box seat for these two having a fight. Possibly some contact. Is anyone going to go for a move on the leader? No. Line astern as Fraser War puts his nose in, but I think that's pretty fair. No harm, no foul there, but Hassan's tyres are absolutely shot right now, so there's no point in fighting. Ben is going to go for the outside of Zoltan. He's going to get it stopped. Zoltan keeps it to the apex. That's pretty fair. A bit of bumping and barging, but nothing bad going on between the two drivers. So Ben will take the lead now. Ben has got to go. Ben's got one lap here to do as best as he can and not pick up another penalty, otherwise his race is over. So let's see what Ben can do in that kick Sauber. We'll stay on board with Fraser War here. Danny Brasco's got some love from Danny Robinson in the chat. A little bit of oversteer on entry, but nothing bad. Danny Brasco looking for a move on the inside of Hassan into turn 1. Maybe Hassan's having to recharge. He's going to be late on the brakes here. Let's have a look. He should brake a lot later. Gets it stopped. Nice dive up the inside there for Danny Brasco. Gets it stopped, and Hassan has not got the tyres to make anything with it. Ben is now having to drive as fast as he damn well can. Fraser War already looking at the back of Zoltan through the S section. These two just need to keep it clean. Fraser War currently in the position to win the race right now. I think if he clears Zoltan, he should be able to win this race, on penalties, which is be a fantastic drive from Fraser. But Danny Brasco's got the better tyres. He's still got the better tyres for another 2 or 3 laps, but there's only one more left. So let's see what Danny Brasco can do here. I'll stay on board with Danny. I think it's probably where the place needs to be. I'm pretty sure there's some fighting going on behind, but this is all for essentially the race win here. So DRS open for Fraser War and Danny. Zoltan can't do anything about this. Is Danny going to go for a dive last minute? I think he might have to try it. Only chance he's got. Nice and late on the brakes there for Danny Brasco. Gets it stopped. Just gives Zoltan enough room in the mirror, which he does do. So let's see if Danny can catch up 7/10 of a second in a sector. I think that's really unlikely, but it's been a fantastic, I don't know when I'm on comms quality. I forgot who that is actually. Apologies. Please state your name in the chat quality. But I think it's been a great race, but I think Fraser War is going to take the win, but Brashman will win it over the line. He's going to come home to take home the, I think it might be P4 at the end. Let's have a look here as Ben Brash takes the win over on the race. But it will be Fraser Waugh who takes the victory here in COTA. Danny Brasco P3, Brashman P4. It's a P3, P4 for Kick Sauber there. A great day in the office as everyone crosses the line. Oh, it's Milan. Hello, Milan. Appreciate the, thank you for saying hello. Yes, Fraser, Master was cancelled today. So, and the Champs team didn't have any comms tonight, so I thought I was invited to step in, and I'm glad I did. It was a great little race. Why am I so shit? Check your files. It'd be a good place to start, mate. Yep, congratulations to Fraser on the win. Fastest lap, though, goes to Danny Brasco with a 34.0. But anyway, here's the list. So Fraser wins the race, Danny Brasco P2. Ben brings home a P3 with a penalty. So without that penalty, Ben, you'd have won the race. I know you are notorious for picking up warnings here and there. Something to fix, but a great job nonetheless. Grim Sleeper takes home P4 here. That's a great result for Grim. Started P14 and ends out P4 just behind his teammate. Hassan Toy with a decent recovery to the end of the race here and manages to come home P5. Egolf P6, Rattigan 7th, Zoltan somehow finished 8th in the end even though he was the lead car. So I don't know where this will actually put him, but I think it actually, yeah, it would have put him P3 on the grid without a penalty. So again, really decent job there from Zoltan. Mickey taking home 9th, Matt F1 10th, and then we've got Den, Wiggy, me coughing, and then we've got Grant in P13, Fryer took him 14th for the DNF, Tiny, and then Rad and Destroy at the end, so finishing out. But anyway, thank you all. I know I have to do some sort of driver of the day here, according to, I think, how this is meant to work. So I think I'm going to have to give it to Fraser. I think, Fraser, again, he won the race. It was clean, pretty clinical as well. I mean, no penalties. I think Brasco as well did a great job. But, I mean, after all, Fraser won the race, today, and I think he deserves a driver of the day for it. Again, it was a clinical drive. He did everything he needed to do, stayed in the DRS when it was a good time to kind of sit back and charge the battery and use the pace when he had it available. So I'm going to give it to Fraser Waugh. But no, well done to the top three. Thank you all for the comms in the messages in chat. Thank you all so much. I won't be back next week. I'm hoping Fear will be back and I'll have a race to attend to. But no, thank you all for putting on a good show today. I've been Stiggy, and I will speak to some of you all end of the week in one of the races. The rest of you, I am in Discord. Thank you all for your time, and good night.